Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contracts, service is month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special episode. I have a return guest on the show who has also been published in our most recent release of Mission Matters Business Leaders Volume 4. So I'll start off with the bio. So Dr. Troy Hall is a global speaker, consultant, executive coach, and author of best-selling title, Cohesion Culture, Proven Principles to Retain Your Top Talent. And he's also author of the recent released Mission Matters Business Leaders Volume 4. Dr. Troy, first off, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you, Adam. I'm glad to be here. You know, if I were any better today, I'd be you.
Oh, man, you are too kind, and that kind of stuff will get you in our next book, too. Come on, I'm in. So, just to kick it off, we're going to go into your work, and first off, I was honored to publish you and to publish your work. So the title of Dr. Troy's chapter for everybody listening is called Engagement is Out, Cohesion is In. So excited to go into this and what you wrote for us. But before we do, I don't want to assume that everybody caught your first episode for all our new listeners from your first podcast episode, I should say. So just get us kicked off, Dr. Troy. Maybe tell us a little bit more about what you're doing as a consultant and an executive coach, please.
Sure. So my work in consulting is all based on the book. So within the book, it's broken into 3 sections. The first section is on leadership. The second is on building the culture. And the third is putting it all together. It's looking at a talent retention model that can be effective for organizations, creating a framework. So all of that is what I use in the consulting. And then as part of that consulting, it works into executive coaching, where I work with seasoned leaders to create leadership action plans for them and then give them an opportunity to work through those action plans to create the success that they need for their business. And it's really about having someone that can be accountable, but not just accountable as in blah, blah, but someone who will dig deep and ask them those questions that get them to think about, like, what is your definition of success?
That's awesome. And, at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave your website or social media or contact info, really wherever you want to direct people. So if somebody is listening to this and they want more information, I want to make sure the right people follow up. So what's typically a good fit, whether it's organization, niche, industry, how far they are in their career? I mean, what's typically a good fit to work with you?
So I work with individuals who are on the way up, not on the way out. So I do not take opportunities from an executive coaching perspective, to work with organizations when they're trying to validate whether the leader is the right or not. I'm working with individuals who are on their way up, and we're going to really soar and move toward that level of success. As far as organizational size, I give you an example. I have a client that operates around a $200 million level, and I have a multi-billion-dollar client that operates with 1,400 employees, of which I am coaching about 30 of the individuals within that company. So I have a wide range, because the reality is moving people to a level of success, it's not so much knowing the intimacies or the specialties of each individual industry. It's knowing what questions to ask that will get the leader to move from where they are stuck.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's a great service, and I think that's also a great transition. So let's just dive right into today's topic and go further into your chapter. So engagement is out, cohesion is in. First off, what was the inspiration for this?
Well, it was important because I felt that leaders today have been lulled to sleep thinking that they can observe what an individual does and declare them to be engaged. And we know that organizations want engaged employees. These are people who are enthusiastic and loyal to the organization. But we have been looking about it all the wrong way. And the best way to look at it is not through the lens of what they're doing as far as enthusiasm and loyalty, but is to look at it through their ability to work cohesively as a team. And using the cohesion framework that I created through my research actually provides performance and engagement. And I really wanted leaders to really realize they're looking for the right thing, but in the wrong place.
So for everybody listening, first off, what I really liked about Dr. Troy's writing is that, and I guess pun intended, but there's cohesion, like there is. It's like the way the chapter is laid out. It's awesome. So for example, we're not going to have time to go through all of it. And if we did have time, by the way, for everybody listening, we wouldn't. Why? Because we do sell books over here. We want you to go purchase a copy. But just to give you a flavor of the writing, and then I'll ask Dr. Troy some specific questions about the chapter. The way it's laid out, so he's got a section titled Observation of Engagement is inconclusive, the cohesion phenomenon, and then he lays out cohesion equals performance equals engagement, cohesion culture. I mean, it's just really well written, and the way you go about it, it's a great read, and it's not boring also. So lots of different reasons we chose to publish you here, but definitely a big fan of your style of writing. Just to maybe get us kicked off here a little bit further in the chapter. So tell us a little bit more about your cohesion culture framework.
Sure. So within the research, it is important to understand that cohesion is what we refer to as a causal phenomenon, meaning that when cohesion is present, it produces something else. It's not correlational. It's causal. And too many times organizational leaders will apply correlational data to prove that something is happening, but that's not the case. So with cohesion, if you have it and you have these elements of cohesion, that framework, then you will get performance, and that performance leads to engagement. And those three elements of cohesion are belonging, value, and mutual commitment. So it's creating, and so every organization can use this because they can create a cohesion culture however they want using the framework. So what does belonging mean to a company? What does value of the way the employee feels? What is the mutual commitments that are required? Those are going to be different depending upon which company, but the framework is so important because it provides the foundation by which an organization can organize its efforts and energies to create that perfect workspace where they can retain that top talent.
So in the chapter, you go through a couple different sections, but one of them is 4 aspects of HR strategies that support a cohesion culture. So I do want to pick out one of them. So intellectual stimuli. Tell us a little bit more about this one.
Well, in this particular area, we're looking at the talent of the organization. These are the employees. And so I first of all want to make a case and say this, that if an organization spends an inordinate amount of money to attract a person and to have them come and be onboarded and oriented to their organization, then I consider them to be top talent until that talent proves otherwise. Based on that, what we know is that the employees want to be stimulated, and they want to be stimulated in a way in which they can belong and they can contribute. Will there be a collaborative work environment where individuals can have their voice heard, or are they going to be robotic in the in what happens? And for many cases, people want that. They want to know that this is a special place where they can be a part of, and it's not just fitting in; it's actually belonging. And so there's a difference to whether you fit in or whether you belong. Sometimes with fitting in, you will change and do things just so people will like you, so you can be a part of it. Belonging is more authentic, and it is very genuine. So you want to make sure that you're establishing whatever those relationships are with those employees, whatever tactics you need to do, that you are actually going beyond fitting in to having them belong and to have them be able to know what their autonomy is, what their voice is, and how that voice will play out over and over again. And this is really important, and although I don't talk about it within the chapter, but there are 4 specific characteristics within the marketplace that people are looking for, and it doesn't matter what generation. And one of them is a collaborative spirit. They want to know that the organization will respect their viewpoint.
No, that's awesome. I want to pick one more out here because why? Just because I'm feeling generous today. So with the audience, I mean, so I'm giving you a whole lot here. You pick up a copy of this. So let's see. So top 3 ways to ensure the success of a cohesion culture. So I do want to go a little bit into that. So what's one of the ways?
So I think that what I would speak to is core values. So it's core values, it's leadership from the top, and then it's live it, breathe it, and own it. But I want to talk with core values because in the book, Cohesion Culture, it's the second phase or the second set of chapters that actually bring the book to life. And these are how the organization sees itself and how individuals can align with their value systems. And what we know is that people will create values based on their everyday actions, and it's how they make sense of their world. It's something we academically call the implication or attribution theory, and it's how we will perceive our world and make sense of it. And when we do, we create a value. So organizations need to have well-defined core values, things like teamwork or integrity or honesty, that they can really rally behind. Fun might even be a core value for an organization, but they're well defined so that there's no ambiguous way in which people will misinterpret what is actually happening. And if you can get those core values in place, and those core values will support belonging, value, and mutual commitment.
Fantastic. Excited about publishing this, and as we kind of get further into this, I'm excited for the next interview that we do, where we're going to have more time and we're going to go a little bit further because we're going to it'll be a video interview and some other good things that we have coming up. So we're definitely just getting started promoting this work. That being said, though, so Dr. Troy, if somebody's listening to this right now and they want to learn more about your services as an executive coach and a consultant, I mean, what's the best way for them to connect and to follow up?
Well, it's real simple. They can connect with me on all social media platforms at Dr. Troy Hall, Dr. Troy Hall. And the website is drtroyhall.com, drtroyhall.com.
Fantastic. Well, Dr. Troy, really excited to have you on the show today, and congrats again on being chosen to be in our Mission Matters Business Leaders Volume 4. I'm an honor to publish you and get your work out there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Dr. Troy, thanks again for coming back on.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm very honored to be a part of this work. Thank you.